Hello, I'm Zardis, and welcome back to my Planet Zoo for New Players series. Today we are going to talk about staff needs, both what staff you need and what they do, and along with what your staff needs for their happiness as well. But before we do that, be sure to hit that subscribe button if you are new to the channel. I have loads of content that you may enjoy. So anyway, staff needs. Let's take a look at the different types of staff. You can find your staffing by going to Zoo down here and then going to Staff. So there are vets, there are keepers, there are educators, mechanics, security guards, caretakers, and vendors. They each have different roles. Caretakers will go through, and we can click on a caretaker here, and you can see what they can do. They go and they can do toilets, litter, benches, transport animals, and clean bins. That is what they do. They clean things up and they just generally caretake for your zoo. So then the next thing is a keeper. Keepers go in and they feed habitats, they clean habitats, and they tend to exhibits. So generally, anything that needs to be cleaned outside of a habitat will be taken care of by a caretaker. Things that need to be cleaned inside a habitat will be taken care of by a keeper. Keepers will keep your animals healthy and happy. That is their job, and caretakers will take care of your zoo. Next, we have mechanics. Mechanics go around and they fix things. They can repair your habitat barriers. They can conduct mechanic research. They can inspect your vending machines. They can repair facilities. They can fix vandalisms. They can inspect rides, and they can fix ride breakdowns. They take care of the mechanical parts of your zoo, or the things that could be done by like engineers or construction workers and stuff like that. That is what a mechanic will do. Real quick, mechanic research is done by going over here to mechanic research, clicking on a mechanic, and picking the area you want to research. We are in sandbox mode, so everything is already researched, but that is how you do it. You click and drag, and if you click on a type of research, you can see what you can get with each research level. So if you go to Australia theme, you'll get a little bit of scenery, and then you can get blueprints by researching more than that. Other staff types. Security guards. A security guard will go in and they can eject guests that are misbehaving. If you click on a guest and say, let's see, where can you do that? I think somewhere you can tell them that they have to get out. Eject Group. You can go here to group information. This is just a team group with 3 members. You can eject all of them. If they are misbehaving, if you catch somebody vandalizing, you can go and eject their whole group with security guards. They can also chase pickpockets, eject vandals, and catch pickpockets. So they generally just walk around and make sure that your zoo is not being vandalized and things like that. They're generally a good thing to have. Vendors, we can add a vendor really quick. A vendor will go in and they will work at a area. So you can see they don't have anything right here. You can assign a work zone to them. We'll talk about that in a minute. But they work at shops and food and drink places. That is what a vendor does. A veterinarian goes in and they can transport animals, they conduct vet research, they can treat animals that are sick, they can tranquilize escaped animals, and they can get rid of dead animals. Vets are very important. You want to make sure your animals are healthy, and vets can do that. Vet research can be done by going over here to vet research, clicking and dragging your vet to that animal that you want them to research. Again, we're in sandbox mode, so everything is researched, but if you click on that, you can see what is unlocked at each level of research. Then we have educators. Let's hire an educator so we can talk about what they do. Educators go around and they can give education things. So they can present animal talks. You have to build an animal talk. We can talk about that very briefly here, but in future videos, we will discuss that. If you go to Animal Talk, you can create a talk point, you can have seating and stuff like that. And if you have a talk point, say over here, we can then click on that talk point and have it be linked to, say, the moose, which is in this habitat. And then we can click on our educator and they'll go around and they will find those talk points and do the animal talks every once in a while. Now, the next thing to talk about is your staff needs. Staff needs workrooms. They were staff rooms. They can go in there, and you want to make sure that you have staff rooms periodically spaced in your zoo so that your staff can go and take a break. That way they do not get tired. You can add perks to different ones or to your staff rooms, and so like anybody who goes to a staff healthcare area will be more resilient against being overworked. There are other ones, you can take a look at those yourself and see what the perks are. I generally don't apply any perks because they add more cost and don't do a whole big amount of change to your staffing. But you do want to pay attention to energy and happiness. And here we have somebody who is unhappy. One way to make them happy would be to increase their salary, and then they will be happier because people who are paid more are generally happier with the work they do. The other thing to pay attention to is their workload. So here we have these vets are somewhat worked. Green is good. It goes all the way to red. I don't think we have any in this zoo that are red, but if you have red, it means they have a high workload. You want to make sure that you add more staff in that case. You do need to pay attention to the amount you are spending on staff, though, so be sure to follow that finance area. Ongoing expenses and your staff wages will be a pretty big number in that. In fact, here, like last year, 49,000 and 57,000 were ongoing staff wages. But of course, this zoo is sandbox, so we don't want to be too concerned about that. Finally, you want to make sure that they have a work zone. A work zone just determines the area that the staff works. If we take a look here in zoo work zones, we can edit this work zone, and you can see green is only this work zone. Then the work zone 2 is these ones here. Orange means it is already part of a work zone. If we take this out, it is red, and that means that it is not a part of any work zone. When you assign staff to a work zone, they will only work in that area. They will not go into the other work zones. And so you want to make sure that every work zone has at least one staff room so that everybody who works in that zone is able to go into the staff room and take a little break. But that is it for talking about staff needs. I hope you found this video useful. The next topic will be your guest needs. So thanks for watching, and I will catch you next time. Take care.